Japanese officials are investigating the catastrophic and deadly runway crash of two planes at a Tokyo airport yesterday. A Japan Airlines jet had a fiery collision with a Coast Guard plane, killing 5 of 6 crew members on board. Meanwhile, all 379 people aboard the Japan Airlines plane escaped. Japanese authorities previously said the cause of the crash was unclear. The Coast Guard said its plane was headed to Japan's west coast to deliver aid to those caught up in the powerful earthquake that struck on New Year's Day, killing at least 64 people. For more on the investigation, we're joined now by journalist Chris Gilbert. He is in Tokyo for us. So Chris, thanks for joining us here. Tell us about what we know about the probe so far.
Well, Hillary, the investigation is well and truly underway, and the bottom line is, why was that Canadian-built Bombardier, the Japan Coast Guard plane, on the tarmac at the time that the Japan Airlines passenger flight was landing? Effectively, how did this happen, right? And the investigation has so far found evidence that local broadcaster NHK is reporting that a Japan Airlines plane was following a normal landing procedure. It had received permission to land, according to NHK. Voice recordings from the control tower back this up, and it does reaffirm what Japan Airlines has been saying itself. Now, there have been conflicting reports in NHK about the Coast Guard plane. The Coast Guard reportedly saying that it had received the green light to enter the tarmac, whereas there are conflicting reports from the control tower voice recording suggesting that that's not true, that it had been requested to stop short. So this is absolutely vital to finding out what exactly happened to cause this collision. Experts are saying that there should be plenty of evidence for examiners and analysts to work with. There's radar data. There's, of course, the physical remains of the aircraft. There's witness reports. There's voice recordings. The black box has been retrieved from the Coast Guard plane, and we're waiting to hear if any evidence can be extracted from that. It's not always 100% possible to extract the voice recordings from those black boxes. And so the Japan Transport Safety Board, along with experts from France and the UK, has begun sifting through the evidence, and these are the reports that we've learned so far.
And Chris, like we've mentioned, that Coast Guard plane, it was due to deliver aid to regions that were hard hit by Monday's earthquake. So how are cleanup and recovery efforts going for that situation?
It's hard to tell the extent of the damage, and the government has said as much itself. It appears to be widespread, and that aid certainly seems to be very badly needed. More than 30,000 houses remain without power. Now, that is the same number as after the earthquake initially struck on Monday. It's been 2 days, and we're entering in Japan the third night now, the third cold winter's night, without heating and power for 30,000 households. There's also inconsistent supply of water. There's been reports of people in Wajima City in that area melting snow to make their own water to consume. Suzu town, a town of about 5,000 households, has reported that 90% of the households there have been destroyed in the earthquake. It's an isolated, remote area, and officials are now battling with rain, increased chance of mudslides and landslides blocking the roads, continuing aftershocks of magnitude 5 or stronger, hampering efforts to locate people who may still be trapped in houses and try and rescue them. But as the Prime Minister has said for the last 2 days consistently, the elements are against them. It's a hefty challenge, and they are really in a race against time now to locate survivors and try and save lives.
Okay, Chris, thank you for the updates. Chris Gilbert for us in Tokyo.